Hi, we're the California Conservation Corps, Los Pinos Crew 1, and you're watching
Report on Conditions.
This week, we learn how Calfire Riverside County Fire Department uses artificial intelligence to fight fires. And we take you to a vegetation fire that occurred in the community of Thermal.
Engine 1 with Report on Conditions.
Hi, I'm Rob Rosine, and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Report on Conditions. Let's get tonight's episode started with a safety message from Cal Fire.
Did you know that cooking equipment is involved in roughly 150,000 home fires per year? And most of these fires are caused because people aren't paying attention or aren't aware of these home safety rules. Captain Cal, whenever you're cooking, you want to make sure that the pan is turned in or away from you so you can't accidentally knock it off the stove and the contents won't spill and burn you. The other thing you always want to remember is things that can catch on fire like oven mitts or plastic or paper towels. You want to keep far away from the stove. And make sure to have a child and pet-free zone 3 feet from the stove when a grown-up is cooking. So Captain Cal, do you know how to put out a grease fire on the stove? No, we never want to put water on a grease fire. Instead, you want to take a lid and put it on the pan so it's nice and tight. That smothers the fire and takes the oxygen away from the fire. You also want to make sure your stove is turned off, but you never want to put any water on your grease fire. Captain Cal, if there's ever a fire in the oven, what you want to do is close the oven right away, turn the oven off, and then unplug it if possible. And if you ever have a fire in the microwave, Captain Cal, what you want to do is close the door immediately, turn off the microwave, and unplug it if you can. If the fire starts to grow, it's time to get a fire extinguisher. Do you know if we have a fire extinguisher nearby, Captain Cal? Make sure to check the extinguisher is charged and use the pass method. P for pull out the pin, A for aim at the base of the fire, S for squeeze. Squeeze the trigger you just pulled the pin out of. Squeeze it slowly and evenly, and S for sweep. Sweep the extinguisher from side to side to cover all areas the fire may have spread to. And if the fire is too big and spreading too fast, let everyone at home know there is a fire. Get outside and call 911 immediately.
911, what's your emergency?
Good job, Cal. Following these steps will keep you and your family safe in the kitchen.
Last week, your Calfire Riverside County firefighters stayed busy with 3,816 calls from March 4th to March 10th. This included 2,922 medical emergencies and 94 fire-related calls. The following incidents occurred during that time. In the early morning hours of Sunday, March 10th, firefighters responded to reports of a vegetation fire at the 85,800 block of Middleton Street in the community of Thermal. The first arriving engine reported a large pile of debris and tree trimmings burning. Due to the pile size, the incident commander requested 2 additional engines, a water tender, and the new Dozer 39 to assist. The fire was contained at approximately 5:45 a.m. The firefighters were on scene for over 5 hours working to fully extinguish the deep-seated fire. No injuries were reported. On Sunday evening, March 10th, Fire Resources responded to a report of a traffic collision near the intersection of Paris Boulevard and Ryder Street in the city of Paris. A Riverside County Sheriff's Department deputy was first on scene and reported a vehicle versus a motorcycle. As Fire Resources arrived, they determined an additional ambulance, for a total of 2 patients, was necessary. Both patients involved in the collision were transported to area hospitals via ground ambulance for treatment of their injuries.
Hi, I'm Dan Hofsche, Fire Captain in Paris Emergency Command Center, and this is Did You Know? Did you know Calfire Riverside County Fire Department uses artificial intelligence to detect new fires? Alert California has over 1,000 cameras up and down the state. The cameras are constantly going around in a circle, checking out the scene, almost like a fire lookout tower. So when they find something that wasn't there before, it's like smoke, it'll send us a little square, which will give us an idea where it's at. And then we can manually go into the program and adjust the cameras and zoom in and see what the AI is picking up. We have had a lot of success here in Riverside County and up and down the state, detecting new fires before a 911 call even came in. We also have the ability to do a time lapse on the feed and make sure this is smoke we're looking at so we don't get false positives. The AI system is also constantly learning So we give it feedback every time we detect an abnormality, and they're constantly making upgrades to the program to help us out. Additionally, we're able to move the cameras, so once we do have a report of a fire, we can see what that fire is doing to see if we can maybe augment our response or send additional resources if needed. But a few months ago, we had a fire in Anza. It was actually a mobile home that spread into the brush, and the Alert California cameras caught it in the middle of the night. We had no reports of the fire from 911. We sent a full response out there and kept the fire small. So when we get a report of a fire from the AI, we give it feedback. This goes back to Alert California operations. They're actually able to use that feedback to continually improve the program. So every month we're getting updates with new features on the program. There are more cameras coming online. This feedback that we're giving here from the ECC and in South Ops is actually helping improve the program so we can get better detection. Alert California cameras can be viewed by the public 24 hours a day at alertcalifornia.org.
That's all for this week's Report on Conditions. Follow your firefighters in action on social media at CalFire RRU and stay up to date on incidents happening countywide. If you've caught any great footage of our firefighters at work or out in the community, send them our way at rrupio@fire.ca.gov. On behalf of your Public Affairs and Community Education Bureau, I'm Rob Rosine. Thanks for watching.